Hi, Farmingdale High School. My name is Max, and I'm here with future MLB pitcher Matt Seelinger.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, let's get right into it. What inspired you to start playing baseball?
I was just always around it with my dad growing up and just watching it on TV and playing with friends that just always loved it. And it was always just the only thing I ever wanted to do with my life.
What was your personal recruitment process like?
I was a late bloomer. I was not a kid that was the best player growing up. I was good, but I just worked at it and then didn't have any Division I or Division II offers. So I actually went to Farmingdale State College for all 4 years, and then was luckily the first person ever drafted out of there.
Did you have any moments that stood out to you from your experience at Farmingdale State?
Yeah, I mean, my freshman year, I was the pitcher to win the conference championship game as a freshman. So it was a big one. We were going for 7 in a row, and so all the seniors were all on me to get it done, and luckily it did. So that, and then junior year I won pitcher of the year, and then senior year just kind of enjoying it, and ended up getting drafted after that.
Um, for draft night as a late round pick, what was the whole draft like for you?
Yeah, I mean back then it was a little bit different. It was 40 rounds then, not 20 like it is now, and it was on the computer for me. It was across 3 days, and I knew I had an outside shot on day two because day two was rounds 10 through 20. First day is 1 through 10, or 1 through 5, 5 through 20, and then 20 through 40. So I thought I had an outside shot at day two. I didn't. But I remember that day I was at the gym working out. I had a dentist appointment. I was nervous as heck. And then I'm just sitting in my room, and my dad said, "Holy crap, it happened!" And on the computer, it said my name, and then I got a call from the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the rest is kind of history.
So once you did get drafted and you got to pro ball, did you have that welcome to the pros moment?
Yeah, I mean, my first day, I signed my contract in Pittsburgh, met the team in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, where the Little League World Series is, and we had a bus drive to West Virginia after that, and we didn't get back to the hotel till like 5:30 in the morning. And I remember taking a Snapchat and sending it to my friends. I'm like, I don't know if I'm built for this, but luckily stuck through it, and just learned the life of on the road stuff.
So about a year after that, you got traded to the Rays. Do you
Yep.
remember the feeling of getting traded? What was that the first time?
Yeah, it was an off day. It was the trade deadline day, and I got a phone call from one of the higher ups at the Pirates, the assistant GM, and he says, "Matt, we're calling you with news we never thought we had to tell you." So I thought it was something negative. He goes, "Actually, no, we're trading you to the Tampa Bay Rays," and I was like, I blacked out. I didn't know what to feel. I was like, oh my God. And then it ended up working out great. I got traded there, and we won a championship that year.
Um, how did moving up through the system? What was the first time you got the call to the next level? What was that like compared to the rest?
Actually, so I got called up in season only once, and that was this past year from Double A to Triple A. Every other year, I've always started the year at that level and stayed. So when I got at the end of spring training, you look at it, it's almost like like in high school where they put the roster up, and you're like, where am I going? So the first big one was when I got to Double A, when I broke the Double A in 2021 with the Giants. That was a big moment, especially because we play close to home here in New York, so it was nice. And then last year when I got the call to go up to AAA, it was an unbelievable feeling. It felt like you finally made it, and then hopefully this year it goes well.
Yeah. So that was when you got to Double A was around COVID. But
Yep.
during that COVID season, what did you do to keep yourself in shape as a competitor and an athlete?
Luckily, at the time we had a lot of guys on Long Island that I trained with that were still playing. So we would, go to local high schools to throw, and then we'd go to the gym they were training at, a little underground. We just kept going at it, and we treated it like it was a season. And luckily, during that time, I got to gain a lot of velocity, got up to 96 miles an hour, and it kind of just worked out. And I think that's what separated me to get to Double A.
Was after you went to Double A, you were at with the Ducks, and you. I don't think it's unfair to say you like shot up after that. What did you do? What kind of adjustment did you make with the Ducks?
Well, I ended up getting released from the Phillies in August of 2023, and I said, okay, I gotta get a little bit better. Because baseball, I mean, any job in life, you have to always evolve and get better, whether it's media or baseball, business, whatever you want to call it. And I felt like, okay, I need to just get a little bit better. So I decided, instead of going to try and play right away, I decided to train, get better, gain a little bit of velocity, worked on my command, and it ended up paying off. And when I went to the Ducks, it all worked out really well.
Was this when you developed your knuckle puck pitch, or what? When was that?
No, I developed that when I was about 15 or 16. I didn't pitch until my senior year of high school, junior year of high school. I took the time off and just played, shortstop, center field. Didn't want to waste any throws on my arm at that time. And so I just kept evolving and kept working at it. It was supposed to just be, pitch I learned, and then I, eventually developed to throw a traditional curveball. But it just stuck because it kept getting better, and it was an outlier pitch that no one else throws, and it's worked ever since.
Do you have any like mental cues for that pitch to like help you like make sure it's in the zone?
Yeah, I look at, I try to throw it just like a fastball as hard as I can, because when you baby it, that's when it tends to not do what it's supposed to do. Within realms of not being too out of control. But if I want to throw it for a strike, I look at the catcher's mask, knowing that it's going to land at his chest. And then if I want it for a swing and miss one, I'll look at his chest or his knee, knowing that it'll land in the dirt. And that's more for the swing and miss.
Um, what does spring training look like for a non-roster invitee?
So, this year I'm going to major camp, and so I will be in the locker room with them and do all the same thing as them. So usually wake up, it's early mornings. It's 6, 7, not even, maybe 5:36 in the morning, and you get to the field. You usually have some meetings, you eat breakfast, then you go out on the field, and it's whether it's sometimes you throw a bullpen, some days you're just having to catch and you're playing and you're taking pitcher's field in practice. And then you get into games. Games start pretty quick. It's probably about a week into it. And it's early mornings, long days, hot sun, but it's the best job in the world.
I got one more about the knuckle puck. Does the weather impact how that moves at all? Like the wind?
It can. Traditionally, I don't like when the wind's blowing into me. That's a really good question. No one's ever asked me that. It can with the wind, but more so, the weather can affect the grip on the ball more than the actual wind affecting the pitch itself. When it's cold, sometimes it's hard to get a hard grip on it, especially with a major ball. They're tighter. And then if it's really hot out, and your hands are a little sweaty, it can kind of slip a little bit. So those are a little bit factors, but ultimately I've been throwing it for so long that I've kind of gotten used to it.
And what does your off-season training look like?
So it goes in phases. It's a long season. It's from February 9th to September 30th is the season, so it's a long time. So your first month you take off, relax, hang out with friends, family, golf a lot. And then, you slowly introduce to throwing, 2-3 times a week. You do some workouts, and then as it gets closer, you drop as much. You still work out and all that, but you focus on more explosive stuff to try and get closer to the season. And then as the calendar turns to January is when you start throwing more bullpens and you're facing hitters and kind of just getting ready for the season there.
All right. So in your career, you had pitching 2 no-hitters.
Yep.
Can you speak on that at all?
Yeah, the first one, it's hard to take credit for. I came in for 1 out in the 8th inning, struck the guy out, and they got pulled out. So I felt like the kid that had got an A on the group project and did nothing, just wrote his name on it. But I remember, we were all nervous, like, holy crap, there's a no-hitter going on. And you're like, who's going to be it? You want to be a part of it, but you also don't want to be the one to mess it up. So that was really cool. And then the next one, I actually got to get a full inning. And that one, luckily, it was still a no-hitter. When it's a perfect game, it's a little tough because because a walk can ruin everything. I remember the first two guys I got out pretty easily. When I got the first guy out, I was like sigh of relief, and then the last guy in the inning, I fell behind in a 3-0 count, and I was like, I know it was the 8th inning at the time, so he's gonna try and break up the no-hitter swing. So I threw a cutter so that he wouldn't swing at a fastball, knowing that if I walked him, it's not a big deal. I'm not blowing anything. And then I threw another cutter and he popped out the right field. And then, and then when they give you the shake of the hand, like you're done, you're like, all right, oof, pass the baton on to the next guy. And then we got it, and it was unbelievable.
All right, now these are just some like light fan questions. So minor leagues has probably the best uniforms in sports. Do you have like a favorite uniform and hat you've worn?
I would say the Richmond Flying Squirrels in AA. They're all white jersey that has a little, red coming up, and it says squirrels, and then the famous black hat that has like the squirrel on it. That's probably one of my favorite. That definitely sticks out the most.
And then, do you have any like particular memory, like a weird thing someone's asked you to sign?
I've gotten signed like a shoe before, like their own shoe, like take it off their own foot and sign it. That's a weird one. But more so, it's just they ask you to sign at weird times. You're trying to leave the field, and they're right there, right on the bus. They know where you are. So, it's obviously you always want to sign for the fans, but sometimes it gets a little overboard.
All right, last one. Do you have a favorite memory in pro baseball?
Definitely when I got traded from the Rays and we won the championship, I got the final out. So that was a lot of fun. I got dogpiled on and all that. That was a blast. And in a winner-take-all, Game 3, because it's best-of-3 series in minor league baseball, I came in the 7th inning or 8th inning with nobody out, or one out, and the bases loaded, only up 1 run, and I got out of it without giving up a run and all that. And a Game 7 type feel is indescribable. It was unbelievable. That and getting drafted, and it's just I've had a great career, and so it's kind of hard to pick one, but those are definitely a couple of them.
That's all I got. Thank you.